Yeah, good evening, class. I want to take this opportunity to thank the Grand Master of the great Ruby QB of life, the unraveler of wrapped up truths, the beacon of the Torah light, and the magnificently esteemed God and the Ebishter for giving me and giving us this opportunity to study and delve deeper into the marrow of the Torah. Without wasting much of your time, today our topic is on we are going to get this topic from the Midrashi about how to stop being a people pleaser and be using a certain methodology called the MAP principle. M for motivation, A for action, and P for principles. So, what is our topic today? Just want to reiterate it. How to stop being a people pleaser from a Kabbalistic Midrashic standpoint. So let's all come and see what the Torah says in the Midrashi about people pleasing. Before that, I would like to reiterate what Rabbi Hili Wagadol, the elder one, said. He said this other day, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? If I don't take care of my needs, no one else can do that. This is the great Rabbi Hili Wagadol. So good self-care is the foundation of emotional and spiritual health and well-being. You see? So, yet there are many people who struggle to take care of their needs in a healthy and mature way. So, what are we saying about people pleasing? The expression people pleasing may seem like an innocuous phrase to describe a very nice person. In truth, it describes a psychological disorder wherein individuals feel very, lowly self-esteemed. And when they should not do that. So the rabbis gave a very good example in analog of a giving tree. There's actually a book that illustrates about a giving tree by Silverstein. You know, Silverstein illustrates the mentality of people pleasing. What's the mentality of the mentality behind people pleasing? So, in that book, there's a story of a giving tree. So the giving tree tells a story of a young boy. So this tree, the giving tree and a young boy, they were friends. So during the boy's lifetime, remember we're talking about the people pleasing as a disease. You know, so this is an analog, very important. The analog says this young boy became friends with this giving tree. So during the lifetime of this boy, he was asking the tree to provide him with various materials for his benefit. In the different stages, the tree gives up all its apples, all its mangoes, all its mawuyu, everything the tree gave to this young boy. The barks, the trunks, makavi, jose, pupa. So by the time the boy becomes an old man, all that left on that tree was just a stump, chitsiga, for him to sit. He had nothing. The reason being the tree was only the giver, giving and giving and giving. So there come at times when you have to stop crossing oceans for other people who wouldn't even jump kachikomba kaduk for you. You cannot jump an ocean to please someone. Kujamba gungwa. Maxi yatatiye kuchikoro menzi wopu chimwe yaidaiso vanhu unojamba jecha ana mujamba jecha asi riri gungwa. You can never cross a sea to please people who can never jump a paddle kakumba for you. It's not possible. And the surest way to lose your self-worth is by trying to jump a sea to please people. No. No, it's a very complete sentence. And it's very powerful. It does not require justification or explanation. Just say no. People will love you. People will hate you. And none of it will even affect you. Don't be a people pleaser. This is just introductory. Trust your instincts. This is according to the Torah. You see, do things for you. I think this message is reaching home. Do things for yourself. Don't always seek approval or satisfaction of others. You attract people who matter. There's that verse in the Torah that I only attract positive people in my life because they are a mirror of what I am. And in the infinity of life where I am, life is whole, life is complete, life is perfect. All is well in my world. Remember, every yes is no to something else. So be yourself. People don't have to like you. You don't have to care. Don't change to please people. If they can't accept you for who you really are, you don't need them in your life. This is the Torah. It's there in the Torah. You know, the legend between Avraham Abraham and, you know, the story of Avraham Avinu and Lot. You can no longer please Lot, please. And the reason for these people pleasing, the major reason, I'm not a psychologist, and I'm always putting a disclaimer that I'm not a professional psychologist, and I don't intend to be one. Otherwise, I'm studying Talmudic psychologist, Talmudic psychology, to be a Talmudic psychologist. But for now, I'm not a professional psychologist, so I cannot give you a professional and sound advice. But I've just read. I was reading, and the danger, the most danger here is with the causes of that is people pleasing aspect, or is social conformity. And we'll look again we're going to try another experiment that was done by an ASCII community around social conformity. And what is social conformity? Social conformity is a type of social influence involving a change in belief or behavior in order to fit within a certain group. But you know, no, absolutely. You know, because you don't have time, but there's a story of an ugly duckling. Ugly duckling, it's very pathetic. I have no time. But the story that ugly. There are so many stories. The story of an eaglet, a young eagle, a baby eagle that was hatched by a chicken, so by a hen. So this young eagle grew up within the baby chicks. But the young eagle was there because the young eagle wanted to please these chicks. There were many, 15. You know, a hen in the villages can hatch 20 chicks. But unfortunately, among the chicks was also this young eaglet, the baby eagle. She could not fly. He could not fly. Because was conforming to this. But these ones were operating within their environment. They were created for that. But this eagle, this eaglet, the baby eagle was not created for this environment. Instead of him or her to fly, he could not fly because he was conforming. That's conformity. That's social conformity. But they don't. These small baby chicks, it's not in their system in the au natural. It's not in their creation to fly. Even 1 meter. Don't nature. But unfortunately, the baby eagle found itself in the midst of the chicks. Chikara and Buruki. And the destiny, the purpose of creation was lost. That's what we're talking about. People, if you are a people pleaser, yet God wanted us to look alike. It's useless. It's pointless. So God created us for a specific purpose. That's why we're here. We didn't just appear here in 1972 for no apparent reason. He saw to it that this person, the world will never operate without this person. That's why you're here. But you know, when a people pleaser now, it doesn't really like that. So social conformity is one of the dangers of that. I want to associate in the cast so ramba anozonditi ndakashata kana ndakadai. And yeah, my one. But I said we are going to use a methodology called the MAP. Want someone to call it MAP, M-A-P methodology, to achieve, the results about how not to be a people pleaser. Like I've said, MAP, M is for motivation. What's your motivation? Act. A for action. You need an action. P, you need to be principled. Otherwise, you can never achieve anything in this world when you're a people pleaser. So, and the Torah talks about pleasure through opposites. Yeah. So the Torah says the truth is that pleasure comes from opposites. For example, during the summer, we experience a lot of heat. And cold water in summer numbs the body and makes it less painful. So cold water is more pleasurable in summer than hot tea. So we are talking about pleasure through opposites. What kuchipisa? Kunoda chi mvura inotondora kugeza. It becomes pleasurable. It numbs the body and makes it less painful. And during cold winter, hot tea is more pleasurable than cold water. So what are we saying? So pleasure comes through opposites. If you are a conformist, you never. So this is the Torah of truth. So I think we can easily understand this from this Torah research about it. Let me try to preface and say the people from Africa and Middle East, the Islam people, the Jewish people, the people from the East and Africa, in the African continent, and people from the East, they like, and they like to listen to music that expresses bitterness and yearning. Aradembo vaya anachimbetu kusai mari muchiti panguva yakaoma. See, nziyo dzedu sekuti dzine some kind of we derive pleasure in, so pleasure is in bitterness, in kunagwana dembo, kunagwana chimbetu. The song, the music is a bitterness and a yearning music. Yoruka wanu chema asi zvitonakidza utorina mweya kusei mari muchiti panguva yakaoma. Hama dzangu dzinondisiya dziripi, imi munodzisa nyika yepiri kure, uko kwavanoti vasingadi kutaura nesu, uko kwavanogara vasingachari kudzoka. Oh yeah, you know, but those songs are called the bitterness. The music is expressed bitterness and yearning, and yet it's pleasurable. There are so many things. Even in Murio, we put chili, we put pepper, we put cayenne pepper. Murio, bitterness. To add bitterness, that's how we derive pleasure. Because the uniqueness of pleasure is found in in pleasure through opposites. You see, so that's how the Torah addresses issues to do with people pleasing. You know. Now, if you are a people pleaser, it might then mean that you are known to be doing whatever it takes to make other people happy. Jumping the Red Sea, jumping the Sea of Galilee, jumping the Indian Ocean, jumping the Pacific Ocean to please people who can never jump a battle for you. So this presentation, as you see, or as you can see, is here to teach, to alert, to awaken spiritually people, including myself, not to be a person or a people pleaser. Okay, let's just, for interest's sake, what is the definition? What is a people pleaser? Who is that person? A people pleaser. A people pleaser is a person who puts other people's needs ahead of their own. This type of person is highly attuned to others and often seen agreeable, helpful, and kind. But people pleasers can also have trouble advocating for themselves, which can lead to a harmful pattern of self-sacrifice. Even self-respect, they don't respect themselves. And yet, from a psychological standpoint, from a psychological perspective, people pleasing is associated, not only associated with a trait known as sociotropy. Psychology, because you are engaged, you are overly concerned with pleasing others and earning their approval as a way to maintain a relationship. Sociotropy. So according to psychology, this behavior is a serious symptom of mental health condition, or wara. So, and some of these mental illnesses are associated with people, people pleasers. We have an issue to do with anxiety or depression. We have traits like avoidant, a personality disorder. The borderline personality disorder, or codependence, or dependent personality disorder, because you want to please people. And now, what are the signs? Let's look at the signs. What is the litmus test? What are the parameters? People pleaser. The number of characteristics that people pleasers tend to share. Akawanda. Number one, yokutanga, you have a difficult time to say no. No, I would. Number two, you are preoccupied with what other people think about you. Vachanditi ndirete, vachataka dashata, kana kanzakana ka musku warepata, vachanditi naditi, kana arashika, kanzaka zakawanda. You feel guilty when you don't tell people. You feel very guilty when you say to people, don't tell people. No, feel like guilty. Another issue is maybe you fear that turning people down will make them think you are mean or selfish, or so you agree to things you don't like because you want to please them. You struggle with feelings of self-esteem, very low self-esteem. You see, so there are so many of these characteristics. You are always telling people, oh, sorry. You take blame when it's not necessary. You know, yeah, even in families, murume nemukadzi, husband and wife, these issues are found where a wife is subservient to a decision-making husband, subservient to it, and kasadaiva notsamba. I saw you kungoita 90 years of marriage. Uchungochema ndozotsamwisa. Murume, if I do this, she'll be unhappy, she'll be angry. People pleasing. And at the end of the day, you didn't derive pleasure from all those things. And you pretend to agree with people, even though you feel differently. You see? And yet the cause of these traits or characteristics, some of them are poor self-esteem. The cause is perfectionism. You want to be perfect. And the dangers of this, or the fix, or the effects now, in the Atambotar paper, you end up with anger and frustration. You end up with anxiety and stress. You end up depleted. You ending up having depleted willpower. You lack authenticity. Now, and yet the most important point now, maybe the last part, I'll be sharing with you the tips to stop pleasing people. Fortunately, there are steps. Fortunately, there are tips that can be used, that you can tap in, so that you stop pleasing people and you live your life. Number one, according to the Torah, I've picked the Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch is a book that was written by Rabbi Shulchan Aruch that teaches us that if one meditates on the fact that God, Akadosh Baruch Hu, the Ebishta, Shem Hamforesh, Ein Sof, the Macroprosopas, the Keta, the Chochmah, and the Bina, if one meditates on those names of God, they're very much confident about overcoming these challenges. Because the Shem Hamforesh, Akadosh Baruch Hu will guide you. The Macroprosopas, the Ein Sof, the Infinite One, the Ze Anpin, the Arch Anpin, God will guide you. So, the methodology, like I told you when I was introducing this topic, using the MAP, motivation. Ask yourself, MAP, ask yourself this question: what is my motivation for doing acts of kindness to this person? Am I doing to cover up anxiety? Am I doing so that I'm loved by this person? Make an honest accounting about that. Number two, action. From MAP, M-A-P-A, action. You need to start a system of giving in a measured way, like Avram Avinu did. Many people, they give, they do things which they don't even have. They promise, be it a political organization, be it a church, and you know, many cases are coming from those directions. But he wants to please people. We cannot say no. So you need to start, according to the Torah, you need to start a system of giving which is measured. It's called a measured way of giving. It starts with money itself. So by that, you need to use the Shulchan Aruch as a guide, especially page chapter 34 of the Shulchan Aruch. We're not going to go to Shulchan Aruch, the book, page 34. It explains about the significance of giving. Giving, especially tithe, the only prescribed tithe. If it's more than that, the Shulchan Aruch prescribed. The books instructs us to give a minimum of 1/10 or a maximum of 1/5 of your salary, maximum. But there's a spiritual connotation from the Gemara to that. If you give more, what are the implications? So then you can download the Sephardic and Hasidic music. You can download the music. If you have music, you can download another empire. If you are coming from Zimbabwe, I don't know where you come from, across the international divide, but you can download music. Peter and pleasurable music. Play that music. Meditate. Yere. The last part is the principles on map, motivation, action, and principles. Right. So the Shakana Ruch, centered very much on because according to the evaluation that was done by the rabbis, many issues of people pleasing come from giving. That's why the Shakana Ruch, there's chapter 34 that we need to read about giving, which has been prescribed from that book. And in that book, there's what is called drip irrigation methodology. Drip irrigation. Drip irrigation, it drops a drop of water on a plant. If this is a plant, drip irrigation drops water on the plant. That's drip irrigation. There's sprinkler, but drip drops water on the plant. So there's such type of giving called drip irrigation type of giving. It's an analog. So because the reason why the reason why drip irrigation is used, prior to drip irrigation, wakumana mshanza hose pipe ka kamera uchiredza ngudire hose pipe kudai man kudiro on hose pipe. So the Shakana Ruchu is a Torah book that talks about how a person can give effectively. Charity, tzedaka, no pasi. That's a formula. But ndo kuna stress ikoko. Takumgomara ne munhu adina. And unguzoporomisa hapana Maria manje. Makunetsa because you want to place them. And you're not God, go please say. God bless you. So the drip irrigation is very important. The approach of giving called drip irrigation, because too much water damages the plant. The hose pipe, you cannot give like a hose pipe. So according to the Torah, too much water damages plants and ultimately wastes water. So drip irrigation delivers precisely or precise droplets to a precise plant throughout the day. No. It's according to Shakana Ruch. So it gives the plant the exact amount of water and nutrients it needs. This system also promotes water conservation. You know, to conserve mvura. Although it seems harsh, to give small droplets of water to a plant, in truth, it is very effective and it has been proven exactly what they need to maximize their growth. So too, you need to understand this. So too, in the giving to a charity organization, in the giving to a person, in the giving to a church, in the giving to a political organization, giving can turn into too much giving if you use the hosepipe approach. And sometimes, according to the Torah, it's better to say no to doing favors for others. So those are some of the actions, the drip irrigation approach, methodology to giving. You can't take everything. Even Abraham, we speak about Abraham. We are speaking about Abraham. We spoke about him again. You see, this is proven. Again, we need to start books. Especially chapter 33 of the Tanya. The Shakana Ruch, the Tanya is the author. To understand how God never abandons you and is always with you in attempts to helping you. So that's our presentation. So in summary, I can just say, it is very, 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 very highly important to know your limits. Establish your clear boundaries, conspicuous boundaries, and then communicate those limits to whoever. Say, my friend, these are my boundaries. I'm communicating them to you. Be clear about what you want. And I think that's all. And remember, before I hang up. Remember, a strong and a healthy relationship involves a certain degree of reciprocity. If one person is always giving and giving and giving and giving, it's draining. Research says such people end up swimming in depression. Even if you enjoy pleasing others, it is important to remember, it is very important to then remember that they should also be taking steps to give you in return. So, thank you so much for attending our lecture today. Keep doing good things. Do good things to people, but on your own terms. Kindness does not need anyone to demand anything from you. You are your own controller of the boat. You were given that energy by God from the day you were created. These were the methods for me, for you, for whoever to use against trying to please people. Because many a time, people pleasers are always failures in life. Don't please people. Thank you so much for attending our lecture today. I really appreciate. May Akadosh Baruch Hu, may Shemam Forish, may the Ebishta continue to bless you in this life and the world to come. Amen, amen, and amen.